So today's topic is, when should you start considering planning for your retirement? We're often asked this question. Should you start 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to really start considering all the things that are important in your retirement? We're really going to take a deep dive into this subject here momentarily. Again, thanks for tuning in to Money in Motion. My name is Walt West, founder and CEO of West Advisory Group. We're here to teach you how to prevent money falling through the cracks in retirement. And remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So when should you start planning for retirement? I'm going to call it the 5-year rule. The optimum time to really take a serious deep dive into your retirement planning is really 5 years before retirement. Over the many years that we've been helping people make that transition from the accumulation phase to the distribution phase, we often start to take that deep dive 5 years in advance. Why is 5 years so significant when you talk about planning for retirement? 5 years gives you a lot of opportunity to still make sure that you have everything in place that's necessary so when you make that transition, you can have the level of confidence that you need and to alleviate the anxiety that comes with making that transition from the accumulation phase to the distribution phase. You want to make sure you have the clarity and the comfort that you have everything in place, that you've established all the things that you need to establish, whether it be you have enough assets, you eliminated liabilities, whatever the things that you need to make sure that you do, it gives you plenty of time to put a roadmap together and a game plan to make that happen and be successful with it. So let's take some time to talk about the details of the things that you should consider when you're planning for that next phase of life within that 5-year window. First and foremost, you should take a look at your estate plan. What does all your legal documents look like? Oftentimes people think that they don't necessarily need an estate plan. Everybody has an estate plan, whether you put the estate plan together or the government has put the estate plan together for you, but everybody has an estate plan. Make sure that your documents are in good order, that your wills are in place, your power of attorneys are in place. Those power of attorneys are very critical to make sure that all the pieces are being taken care of in the event that you need to act on behalf of somebody else, or someone needs to act on behalf of you. It's a very important part of preparing for that next phase of life. The other thing to consider is your tax planning. What is your tax situation going to look like when you move into retirement? Do you feel you're going to be paying less taxes in retirement? Do you know if you're going to be paying less taxes in retirement? Or do you feel you're going to be paying too much tax in retirement? You owe it to yourself to establish and to understand what your potential tax liability will be when you move into retirement. If you have 5 years before you make that transition, it gives you plenty of time to realign to ensure you're paying the least amount of taxes, not only today, but into the future. The other area that needs to be taken into consideration is what is going to be your income strategy when it comes to retirement. When will your income phase in once you make that decision to no longer work? Will you rely solely on Social Security? Will you have pension income? Maybe you're too young and you can't even take distributions from your IRAs because you're not of age. What will be your sources of income? What will that look like? This is a very important part to understand what that might look like. And when you're thinking about income, you have to think about things like longevity, inflation. Again, the tax subject comes up again. So taking all those things into consideration are very important. The next thing you should consider within that 5-year window is risk management. How are you going to manage risk? Not only during the 5-year period up until you reach retirement, but also during the retirement phase of life. And there's many things that could potentially happen to you. I often say we can't spend a lot of time worrying about what we can't control. We got to really focus on what we can control. In other words, it's not the direction of the wind, it's the direction of the sail. But you must build the sail in order to ensure that you'll never have more life than money, right? Very important. So risk management is a big part of that. So these are some of the key elements that you need to consider prior to you moving into retirement. And we really suggest it's that 5-year window. Now, let me also say this. It's something that you must take into consideration, and that is documenting all of these pieces in which we just discussed. You must build a comprehensive financial plan that puts all the pieces of the financial puzzle together, that's integrated in a way that is written, documented, and it is fluid and dynamic. Because change is inevitable, folks. Things will change, and your plan needs to be built to accomplish all the things that we talked about, but it has to be flexible enough as changes occur that the plan can change as well. So frequent updates and adjustments are going to be required, but it kind of gets you in the habit of making sure that you're identifying all the things in which you need to identify. Because not only do you need to identify these things prior to retirement, it's going to become much more important once you reach retirement to continue those things and make sure that they're updated on a regular basis. Because ultimately, this is going to give you the confidence in which you deserve. It's going to minimize and potentially eliminate anxiety during that distribution phase of life. And you owe it to yourself to put you in the best position to give you the highest probability of success as you're moving into retirement. It's about being proactive and not putting yourself in a position to be reactive. So do yourself a favor, plan early, save as much as you can, arrange your assets, pay off your liabilities. All these things are critical elements in the success of your planning process. Again, thanks for tuning in to Money in Motion. Until next time, start your planning.